Hi, my name's Michael from Save Us All Permaculture. One of the things that we can actually do to help increase, one of the tools and techniques that we can do to increase the level of productivity that we're having in our own home is not just looking about what's happening in the garden, but bringing it closer to where we use our stuff. And something like in the kitchen, or if you're working in schools, even in the classroom. One of the things I like to do is every now and then I'm given a whole heap of jars. Now this is an old Coca-Cola jar. I did go to get some more rubber seals and clips on it to actually get them useful for preserving, but unfortunately the cost of those seals and those clips were too expensive, so they've just been sitting on my shelf doing nothing, gathering dust. So taking one of these, and you can use a mason jar or any other sort of solid jar that you've got lying around, and what we can do is turn this into a planter that we can put into our kitchen, on our windowsills, on our sinks where we can get a lot of light, so we can actually bring some of that productivity into our home. Some of the things that we'll be using to be able to do this is just some simple rock. This is what I had left lying around from another project. Some potting mix, whether it's homemade or something that you've purchased, an organic one that you've purchased. Some rock minerals, some organic rock minerals that we can use as a long-term fertilizer within our little pots, and of course the herbs themselves. So what we're going to be potting up today, we've got a couple of different types of basil, we've got some sage, we've got some oregano, we've got some thyme. Alright, some parsley. Alright, so what we do first off is we get one of these jars, we turn it over and we fill the bottom third with these rocks. What that does is for a level of drainage to go into it so we don't accidentally overfill our vase with water and drown our plants, and we can see when the water trickles through so the soil stays moist. It almost becomes like a little wicking bed in its own fashion. After that we get our potting mix. Like I said, whether you make your own like we've talked about in a previous video, or if you purchase an organic potting mix, if you do, just be aware that you might want to wear a mask or something just in case there's any pathogens within that as well. Alright, so getting our homemade potting mix here, I'm going to be filling it up to a point in the jar. From there we get a few little bits of our rock minerals and just put it in the bottom like a slow release fertilizer, feeding our plants as it goes along. Then, in this instance, we've got the basil, and we start just backfilling in that space, bringing it up to create a nice little good looking feature to go on our kitchen sills or our sinks, and we're actually growing the herbs where we use them in the kitchen. So from there, then we just get some water, give it a little bit of water, putting it into that, allowing it to drain through. And that's it. So from there, we put that to one side, and then we move on to the other ones. And that's as simple as it can be. In a few minutes we've just managed to put together 6 different herbs, or 6 different types of herbs that we're going to be sitting in our kitchen, and we're going to be harvesting from them for the next few months. When it's finished, what we can do then is just take it out, remove the potting mix, put that back in our worm farms and our compost bins, sift through the rocks, and then we can start the process again. As I said, this is an easy way of being able to bring some of that production into our kitchen, and it's one of the activities I used to do with some children when I was working in schools, and we were looking at this. And it's something to do you can do with small children as well. As it's growing through, the children get to see the root systems growing through, and they get to harvest and that smell and that textile, so we get that sensory sensation as well. We hope that you like this video, and if so, please hit like and subscribe and touch that bell if you can, so therefore you'll be notified of any future videos that we do come through. We hope you enjoyed this and look forward to seeing you again in the future.